This is Laura Duncan from CSMS. Today we'll be talking about the Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem is named for a man called Pythagoras who studied triangles, and he found this cool relationship in the legs and hypotenuse of a triangle. Let's look at that. First of all, the relationship found in the Pythagorean theorem is only evident in right triangles. They meet at a right angle or 90-degree angle. And the two sides or two legs of that triangle, if you square them and add them together, they will be equal to the third side of the triangle squared. In this triangle, the legs form the right angle. Now there are two facts about the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is the longest side, always the longest, and it is always opposite the right angle. One of the things that makes this so challenging for 8th graders is that they don't identify their hypotenuse. Know where your hypotenuse is at all times. Let's look at another consequence of the Pythagorean theorem. If three squares form a right triangle, that's what we're looking for, are right triangles. If the three squares form a right triangle, then the sum of the areas of the two smaller squares is equal to the area of the larger square. Remember, sum means adding. So we add those together, and the question is, find the area of the largest square. So since these squares form a right triangle, then 25 plus 50 will equal the area of the third square. Let's talk about the next one. Find the area of the smallest square. Well, to find that, we have to use this relationship. Notice which one is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is the one side that is opposite the right angle. The Pythagorean theorem states that the square of these two legs add together to form the square of the hypotenuse. Well, you can see we cannot use addition because we're missing the square of that leg. So this time we will have to use subtraction in order to solve this problem. So we subtract the hypotenuse minus the square of the given leg, and we find that the square of the missing leg is 25. The last example is a little different. It's not asking us to find the value of a square, it's finding a length of the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is not a square. The hypotenuse is this longest line that is opposite the right triangle. Now, we know that to find the square, all we have to do is find the sum of these two squares. So that's what we'll do first. 9 plus 16 is 25. Now 25 is the area of this square, but we only want to find one side. What's this length, the hypotenuse? Well, to find the length of the hypotenuse, I want you to think backwards. A side times another side is equal to the area of 25. Well, what two numbers multiplied together equal 25? That would be 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. Therefore, the hypotenuse length is equal to 5 units. Now we're getting somewhere. We get to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side length of a right triangle. So here is the Pythagorean theorem. This is what it looks like when it's written mathematically. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. And guess what? Yeah, those squares, they look like squares. A and B are the legs, and C is the hypotenuse. Our task is to find the missing side of each right triangle. Well, which side are we trying to find? Locate your hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always the one that is opposite the right angle. So we're given the legs. we're given the legs of 5 and 12. Those are both legs. Now let's use the Pythagorean theorem, which is located right here, and we'll substitute what we know and then solve for what we don't know. So A, I see here, A is 5. So I will substitute 5 into my equation, squared. I'm just following what it says, plus B, B is 12, squared equals C squared. Let's simplify and solve. 5 squared is 25. You can see a representation over here. This is the side 5. So when we're squaring a number, we're kind of finding the area of a square. 5 times 5 is 25. Well, the other one is 12. So the area of this square will be 144 because 12 times 12 is 144. Let's go back to our equation. 25 plus 144 is equal to C squared. Well, I can simplify these two numbers and add them. That would be 169 equals C squared. Now, C squared represents this square right here, but I don't want to know what C squared is. I want to know what that hypotenuse is. So I want you to think of when we're solving equations, we do the opposite. Well, what's the opposite of squaring a number? It's finding the square root of a number. Back to our equation. If I find the square root of C squared, I'm left with C. That's great. That's what I want. I want to know what the hypotenuse is. But remember, when we're solving equations, what you do to one side, you do to the other. So the square root of 169 is 13. That means the hypotenuse is 13 units. Please box, square, or circle your answer. On number 2, I want you to start by finding your hypotenuse. Which one is the hypotenuse? Sometimes it helps students to find the right angle first, and then the side that's opposite the right angle is the hypotenuse. That means that the hypotenuse is 15. We are not looking for our C this time. We're given the number 9 as a leg. Now this number 9, it could go in either A or B. A and B, since they're both legs, are interchangeable. That means we're looking for side B, or the other leg. So let's substitute now. I've substituted my numbers into the Pythagorean theorem, and now I will try to simplify and solve. Now, to simplify this, I see I have a 9 squared. That would be 81 plus B squared equals 15 squared, which is 225. Now, just a reminder, I am looking for my B. So to do that, I have to isolate the variable. To isolate the variable, I will start with addition or subtraction on this problem. So I'm going to subtract 81 from both sides. That will help to isolate the variable. So B squared equals 144. I'm not finished isolating the variable. I have to do the opposite of this square. The opposite of squaring is taking the square root, and what I do to one side, I do to the other. So the square root of B squared is B. The square root of 144 is 12. Box your answer, please, but now let's go back for a moment to question 1 and then to question 2. What I want you to check for is my answer reasonable? This is what I was looking for on number 1. I was looking for the hypotenuse. I know that the hypotenuse has to be the longest side. So it says here that our hypotenuse is 13. Is it bigger than the legs that were given? Well, yes, it is. So that means it is a reasonable answer. Look at answer number 2. It says our B is 12. Well, B is not the hypotenuse. It should not be the longest side. So is 12 a reasonable answer? What you're looking for is the hypotenuse the longest side? And yes, it is. So your answer is reasonable. Now let's move on to number 3. First of all, we need to find out which ones are A, B, and C. Well, finding your hypotenuse would be a really good thing right now. So here's the right angle. It kind of points to the hypotenuse because the hypotenuse is always opposite the right angle. That means that C is 17. Now I want to make sure that you understand that the legs 15 and this missing number are interchangeable. I'm going to put it B as 15, and then you can put A as 15 and leave B as the leg that you're finding. That is fine. We will both come up with the same answer. This time they didn't give us the Pythagorean theorem, so you may look on your formula chart, or if you've already have it memorized, then write down the formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That's our relationship. Now we substitute what we know and solve for what we don't know. Well, I decided that I'm going to have B as 15, so I would have A squared plus 15 squared equals, my C is 17, that would be 17 squared. Now let's simplify and solve. 15 squared is 225, and 17 squared is 289. Now how do I solve for my A? I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to subtract 225 from both sides to isolate my variable. That leaves me with A squared equals 64. You may have B squared equals 64 at that point. That's okay. But I'm still not done. This A is not isolated. To isolate the variable, we must do the opposite. The opposite of squaring is taking the square root. So A is equal to 8. Please check for reasonability. Is it less than the hypotenuse? The hypotenuse was 17. So it checks out. 4. Would these 3 squares form a right triangle? Why or why not? Well, when we're given squares and we're talking about right triangles, we only know about one relationship. This relationship is the Pythagorean theorem. We know that A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. What we know is if these 3 squares form a right triangle, they will have this relationship. If they do not meet this relationship, they will not form a right triangle. So first, find your hypotenuse. Which one is the longest side? That would be 12, so that has to be our C. Now the other two are interchangeable. We'll just say that one is A and the other is B. Let's substitute and solve. So A is 7, so substitute 7 for A. B is 10. I'm just looking back at my equation and what I'm substituting. And C is 12. Let's see if this relationship proves to be true. In order to find out if this is true, I've got to simplify it a little bit. 7 squared is 49. 10 squared is 100. And I know that 12 squared is equal to 144. So what I'm looking for now is, does 49 plus 100 equal 144? We can see that no, it does not. It is not equal. So what does that mean? Well, let's go back to the question. Would these 3 squares form a right triangle? The answer is no. And why they wouldn't form a right triangle is because they don't meet the relationship that we know about. Let me write it down in words. No, the squares will not form a right triangle. That does not answer the second question though. Why or why not? So take some time and verbalize that. So no, the squares will not form a right triangle because the sum of the areas of the smaller squares do not equal the area of the large square. Basically, in the turquoise, I've just restated what the Pythagorean theorem is. You could say, no, the squares will not form a right triangle because it does not meet the relationship found in the Pythagorean theorem. The lesson is yours.